Oh, we got a quorum, so stand up, pledge allegiance. Call to order, pledge allegiance to the flag of
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So I guess we'll call this meeting over 12:05. All right, roll call.
Roberto Santos.
Present.
Hector Cortez. Not present. Carlos Gordillo.
Present.
David Vasquez.
Present.
Joel Benavides.
Present.
Jose D. Gonzalez.
President.
Elia Guevara. Not here. We have a quorum.
Okay. David, I call you Cash or David? Why do I usually call you Cash, brother?
It's just, it comes from my radio days.
Yeah.
That's what everybody.
Cash. Cash is all right then, huh?
Yeah, it's
Good.
fine with me.
Thanks, brother. All right, man, minutes. We all have the minutes. I'll just give you a second to review them. We all agree and to take a motion? Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. So, all in favor?
We need a second.
Huh?
Was there a second?
Yeah, David.
David, okay, sorry, I didn't see.
Or Cash, David Cash. Right? All right, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposition? Moves forward. All right, citizens' comments, any comments?
No.
All right. Move right along, make this a good, fast, quick meeting, that's all.
We will.
All right, staff reports.
Okay, so just so everybody knows, I'm Virginia Hunt, the Assistant Director. Mr. Sanchez is out at a Air Service Development Conference. So we're hopeful that he'll bring us back some good news. One thing on air service that we have, that he has secured is the Allegiant going to LAX will be back May or June to August. So they'll be back for the summer months. So that's really good for us. And as you know, we started a ruse in January. So we've in the week ending the 19th of January, which was the first week, we had 15 arrivals and 19 departures. We had one day that one day in January that was canceled, and that was the weather day, the bad weather day. The 26th of January, we had 4 arrivals and 8 departures for the week. I don't know if that's in your files, that's fine.
I didn't see it.
In February, we had 7 arrivals the first week and 9 departures, and a total of 12 arrivals and 15 departures on the week ending February 8th. So we're good. We had one day that they didn't fly, and they didn't have any passengers, and that's the reason why they didn't fly. The day in January was weather. Everything canceled on that day. So,
And do you know how many passengers on average are flying?
didn't average it out, but I think it's averaging about 3.
3 passengers.
Yeah,
Fly.
and that's, if I'm not mistaken, as long that's our sweet spot that we need to hit,
Okay.
is the 3 passengers. So for a certain period of time, just to explain to you, the city has given ARUS a package deal to where if we don't have a certain amount of passengers, then they will get paid for the service. And it's, my mind just went blank on what it's actually called. But if I'm not mistaken, 3 passengers is our sweet spot. That as long as we have 3 passengers, then we don't have to pay them anything.
Do we know how long we're gonna subsidize them for?
Was it just for a year, Victoria?
Yes.
Or 6 months?
It's actually like 10 months.
So, but so just to explain more to you about the service, the airport does the ground service, and then we invoice them for ground service, and they will pay for it. So the employees that are working the flight, they are actually city employees. They're part-time, but we get paid back for that from ARUS.
Do you remember the capacity of the?
9,
9 passengers.
yes.
Okay.
They do have a bigger aircraft that has 12 seats,
12.
10
I wanna say
seats?
12.
I want to
yeah.
say 12, but
Mhm.
they aren't here,
Oh, okay.
they haven't done it yet. But, I mean, to me, I'm really excited about it because I think that it's going good. To me, because I think every day but twice have we had people going out.
When they have going out, they just leave the planes, they just flying back empty or what?
Yeah.
And that's when you have to pay the minimum of.
We will have, yeah, we'll have a dollar amount. And I'm sorry, I don't know the dollar amount off the top of my head, what we have had to. had
Victoria,
done.
I know that we had plans before on a previous one that went under. Is there renegotiation after the 10 months, or are you guys gonna sit there and say, hey, it is what it is and we'll end? Because I know that you don't wanna lose that flight, but at the same
So-
time,
We haven't had those discussions yet. I think it really depends on their activity. I know it's a revenue service agreement, or like the revenue agreement. Theirs is way less than what the amount of people is like a little bit less than what was expected, and I guess because the plane is a lot smaller, we're not seeing it as much, I don't feel like it's going to be impacted the way we were with the Aeromar. The Aeromar one continued to get subsidies, but because it was also like a weird period. It was COVID, they had just started here. Mexico wasn't even allowed to I don't even think they were allowed to fly in for a little bit. So I think that's why it lasted so long with them. At the end of the day, I think it's just a matter of what the council wants, or what this board advises the council to do with the revenue service agreement. And basically, or also based off of what the recommendations from the airport are. I think right now it's a little early to say the flight is a success. I think you need to give it at least a little bit more than 6 months to see what the activity actually is. But maybe once we get further down, we can renegotiate or figure it out.
I know other than the initial day that there was a lot of promotion, haven't really seen a whole lot on there. Where you guys are targeting it to promote?
So we are, matter of fact, last week, we are talking to Lamar, Hachar, and Killam, whatever Killam's advertising company is called, to do some billboards. There, I think, going to be 10 to 12 billboards in Laredo advertising that flight plus all the other flights. I know that right after the 1st of February the end of January is when we started talking about doing more advertising. So I know that we've advertised on our Facebook page, what is the company that's doing our advertising?
ADS.
ADS, yeah.
What
They've
is
been.
What
about-
is the total price? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
The total cost of the ticket right now?
It's about 300 something
Round trip or one way?
round trip.
Round trip?
Yeah, originally they had told us 500,
I remember that. Yeah, I remember.
but they've really come down. But even before
That
they
was too much.
started, they had really come down. I haven't looked in the last couple of weeks to see.
Monterey, here to Monterey back. Monterey.
But into Monterey
Yeah.
proper,
Well, there's only the
not
one.
outside, there's only one.
There's only one big airport there on the, to us, it'd be the north side, Monterey, yeah, so.
Yeah,
And from there, we could just take flights to Mexico City, wherever,
And
they
it's
have a
a,
lot more different.
what kind of aircraft is it then?
it's a
Cessna Grand Caravan.
Grand
or Cessna
Caravan.
my bad.
Yeah, Grand Caravan. So
Oh,
not
the Caravan,
Yeah.
those are good aircraft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
took one of those in Argentina,
Are we-
they're pretty, they fit 10, I think, well, it depends on the size of the Caravan.
they have a 9-seater and then they have a 12-seater, and the 9-seater is what we're using.
Okay.
With regard to the marketing and the promotion, and this is just because this is what I do. Sometimes billboard can be a little expensive, and I think you can get more penetration or more coverage with digital ads, meaning Facebook ads,
And that-
Instagram ads, TikTok. If it's done properly, have you all considered doing that as far as with
Well-
the agency that's currently employed?
ADS, there actually is in your packet, the color thing, that is
I have a
the,
question, I'm sorry to interrupt. Are we gonna be going in order, like the staff reports, or are we skipping to?
oh, well, I'm
like-
sorry, I skipped.
I just didn't know if, what
Yeah.
item we were on. Yeah, I didn't know what
Sorry.
item we were on, if we were
I
on
was just
updates on
ta- I
items,
talked, sorry.
operations in, requests, or if we're on staff reports.
We're on staff reports right
We're
now.
on
Okay,
staff
just making sure.
reports. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, we were talking about passenger activity, and I was telling them about a reason we kind of got off. But yes, this tells you, and Victoria can answer more on the advertising stuff than I can, because I'm not really involved, other than I knew Sanchez and I had talked about the billboards.
Well, I know that we have a lot of industry users and dealing with Alpha, the Laredo Broker Association, the Michigan Broker Association, they're the users. So, I mean, we could kind of target that market as well, because I think that it's a huge opportunity for them as well, because of, especially now that the time frame's getting in Monterey and driving, maybe we can kind of sit there, target them a little bit stronger, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so we do digital advertising, Mr. Vasquez. We have a Facebook page and we have an Instagram and a LinkedIn. I recommend you follow us on all of them and support our page. Like and follow. No, so we do use that, and we do know that Laredo is heavy. The best way to market and advertise for the city is through social media. Because I want to say that we had someone report to us that like less than 50% of the cities, or more than 50% of the city doesn't even have cable. And traditional media is a little more expensive, or not a little, it's a lot more expensive than just the digital ads. That's not to say that we take them away, like we will still use them. I just don't think that we've had any, we do have billboards, I know, because I always see the one that's by Tokyo Garden, like that one will advertise the airport. I'm not sure exactly what campaign they want to do, but if you're recommending, or if the board is recommending that we kind of look into targeting more maybe on LinkedIn, like advertising a little bit more for the trade community, that's definitely something we can look into.
Yeah, I think because, so while the reporting, and I'm familiar with this, is Google Analytics, and then this is insights from Meta right here. So when these are just general overview organic stats, but what I would like to see, or what I would be interested in seeing, is the actual campaigns, because campaign, so Facebook ads or Meta ads, or the business, a business account center within Meta will show you how your ads perform. So if you tell the agency, hey, we want to allocate $5,000 on this particular campaign, let's say it's for the flight, it's going to show you how it performed. It'll show you how it performed day to day. You're probably familiar with this, right? So the one important piece to that is that as an ad agency, they should be adjusting to the performance, because they should, if they're checking this on a regular basis, which they should, it can tell you how well the ad is performing every single day. And if they see a drop or they see an uptick, then what they want to do is adjust the ad to go to that performance, because at the end, what you're really trying to see is the click-through rate, your CTR, right? Your CTR is going to tell you, or your conversion rate is basically how many people clicked to book a flight, right? And then you should also be using something called UTM tags, right? So UTM tags are basically a tag that shows you, these are all, this is like, you know, when you go to a website, it says allow for cookies and stuff like that. This is tracking data. So you're basically able to track people from when they saw the ad on Facebook, they clicked, it came from that specific ad, and then they actually booked on the website. Or so those are codes that the agency should be able to use to tell you down to the penny, okay, it cost me $10 to get a person to my website and book a ticket. That costs $300. Is that worth it to continue advertising? Or it cost me $500, but the ticket's $300. Does it cost me? I mean, is it worth? So that's where digital ads. I would request those things from the agency, because those are specific targeting items that you can use to make sure that you're using your advertising dollars. Unfortunately, billboard, TV, radio, they won't be able to. They'll give you stats from Nielsen. They'll give you stats from Arbitron, but they're basically hypotheticals. they're hypothetically telling you 1,000 people saw your ad, but they cannot show it like the way digital ads can.
Yeah.
Digital ads can actually tell you, okay, you had
And the
10,000.
demographic too.
And the demographic, where it came from, even down to the device that they use. Was it an iOS? Was it an Android? Was it on a desktop? So all of those things are really, really important that I would recommend, especially if you're trying to push for more ticket sales on this particular item.
Yeah, and we can definitely do that. I know that you're new, and so welcome to the Airport Advisory Board.
Sorry, I'm jumping right in.
No, don't worry about it. You're
Good.
doing great.
Okay.
No, we should be having another member be appointed, or maybe two. Once that happens, I would like to maybe. You should probably meet our consultants, right? I think you all should. I don't think we've had a meeting with our new marketing people. I used to bring them in at least probably quarterly. They would kind of give us updates. Well, now that we're getting our new members, that's something that's good we can do, and we can definitely recommend to do the breakdowns of the campaigns for the next report, so you can get more detailed description of what's going on.
Cool. Yeah, and if you guys want to bring me in to,
Or if you have examples of what you would want to see in the marketing report, you're more than welcome to send it to us, and I can
Okay, yeah, I
send that
can do
on
that.
to ADS, because I'm not a marketing girl, but I'm just
No,
like, give me
but-
the data.
But these are great things that I think just as being stewards, right? Because obviously the tax dollars, and that we're using these tax dollars to bring in more development into the community. I think if you need me to help you with any sort of thing on that, as far as requesting deliverables from our agencies that we're using, I'm happy to do it. So.
Of course.
David, I have a question. What are your thoughts on local influencers? I know there are a couple of very popular people here that.
Yeah,
you
I
think
mean,
could work.
influencer marketing, I think it's a big piece, right? Something that a lot of people, I've been used, right? My channels have been used to promote certain products or certain services. And so, yeah, I think when you have somebody specifically from Laredo that is willing to endorse a product from Laredo, I think it adds validity, especially it just adds weight, right? Like, oh, I know that person and they're promoting this product, and what are they promoting? And that influencer style of marketing it's been around for a long time, but now it's just on a social realm where now anybody with one of these can be.
Yeah, I have heard of many successful cases of like in other kinds of businesses, like restaurants, using
Mhm.
those kind of influencers, and it has worked.
Well, right now, yeah, for Valentine's Day, the restaurants are using the influencers to promote their Valentine's Day dinners or whatever. I mean, I'm watching the videos. I don't know if anybody else is. but-
Yeah, and just so you know, the city of Laredo does or has used influencers. The airport has too. I know that when Idomar was here, they actually flew in an influencer from Mexico. I don't know who she is. I'm sorry, I'm not good with the influencer thing, but I know that they brought her, and I know that CVB, the Convention Visitors Bureau, they also utilize influencers for their marketing campaigns. So maybe we can get with them to see what campaigns have been successful, what influencers have probably brought the most attention, or to see what the effect was with those campaigns versus the ones that don't have them. We could definitely get with Aileen.
We should really
Yeah.
consider that.
I know that at one time we had some individuals that were here, and having David, it's an asset. I think that he'll be able to sit there. It's a different language.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
100%.
Terminology was like,
Yeah.
kind of blowing me
Yeah.
away, but at the same time, it'd be something that we can kind of target and sit there and work on better budgeting the money that we have allocated
Yeah.
for that.
And just so you know, we do have a grant, a SCASDAP grant, and that one is it's specific to marketing current routes. So like, we do have we have a fund that's specific to that. So if you guys also have ideas like what you're mentioning, like maybe targeting more the business community, that's probably something we can do.
What's the grant called?
SCASDAP, small community
Mm-hmm.
Development grant.
Airport.
Yeah.
development. It's for marketing.
Okay,
But yes,
cool.
it's a long acronym. I cannot.
Yeah, no,
Come on.
Yeah.
And,
it's
and we're just focusing on time as well.
Yeah.
We'll get back on agenda so we can
Yeah.
kind of move forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you can see by the report for 24, our employments was up about 24%, which is always good, from 121 to 150. It's always good. The cargo was up, which is good. that because the first 8 months of the year it was down, so the last 4 months really helped to bring it up about 15% over 23. And as you can see, the FIS so far in January, we had 138 arrivals that went through the Federal Inspection Station and 73 departures. So that's actually down over 24. So I'm not going to read all of them, but y'all can see the different types, that the air charter, the private, the total passenger count. And so I'm not for sure, don't know if you understand what the federal inspection is. We have customs for United States Customs officers, and we also have Mexico Customs here, that if a plane is flying from here into Mexico, they can stop here and be cleared to go. There's certain airports in Mexico they can go to. And in the same way, if they coming in from anywhere, they can stop here to be cleared for customs, and then they're a domestic flight to any other point in the United States.
It's kind of a weak market right now.
Yeah.
And the fact is because it's very limited. There's only 5 types of commodities, aeronautical, aviation. It's aviation, electrical, automotive. And
Auto parts.
Auto parts, and there's something else. But the thing about it, you have to be pre-approved. And top of that, you only have like 13 airports. So it's very limited.
8?
And 8 airports. And you have to be, like I said, pre-approved. On top of that, there's a secondary inspection. Even though it says customs cleared here, you still gotta press the button, I think red or green on the Mexican side over there, the other spot. So just to make sure everything was done right. So it's certain challenges on that. And we're the only one in the nation that has that. They're trying to work on somewhere in California, I believe, but at the same time, it's kind of a tough sell, but it's something that's unique, and Cuellar really worked hard on this, and we're kind of hoping that we can it's always been a topic point that we're trying to move forward to. At the same time, we can kind of work with the marketing.
What would increase the traffic or the
Well, right
use?
now, the administration is making it a little bit more tougher because they're trying to slow down the de minimis, and that was something that we
Right.
I think we should focus on that, but at the same time, we're seeing what the new changes are gonna have before we can go ahead and take the next step, so.
Yeah.
And then fuel flowage, we are up over for the total gallons used and brought onto the airport. We're up over that. And then we do have a delinquent report. And so those are some that we're working on. If you'll see, there's for the people that use the Federal Inspection Station, there is charges for them to use it. And we have some that we allow them to send us a report and to pay us on an honor system. And those are the ones that say FIS user fee that are over 90 days. There's 3 of those. We are working with those parties to correct that. And then the others are FTC operators that when they were billed, they just haven't paid yet, and we're working on trying to get those people to pay.
They should be all paid by the end of the week.
But the FTZ is just yearly one time, and it's
Yes.
like usually in January, that's
Yes.
why it's
It's
on there right
September.
now. The fiscal year?
It's in October.
The fiscal year, okay.
It's
Yeah.
a fiscal year.
Yeah, in October.
Yeah, but all of these companies that they had staff changes. So that's the problem. The people who received the invoices weren't there anymore, and then they didn't tell us. So now I've got them all in order. They're gonna be, some of them's paying today, the others not no later.
So next time we see this report, because I remember we hadn't had a name on there for a while, and now we got a bunch of names. Okay.
And then on FTZs, you can see we had 47 operator sites, and that's up 10 from 23. And then as of December 2023, and then October of 2024, we were up to 52. And then as of the 12th, we have 57 sites with 47 operators. So doctors working hard on getting those going.
Federico, and this is a huge opportunity right now, due to the fact that the anticipated tariffs that are coming in, a lot of people are trying to stockpile and make sure that they get that import date at a certain date, so there's a lot of, I don't want to say chatter, that a lot of the exporters and especially the automotive, because they're gonna be hit the hardest if it goes through. They're starting to get a lot of inventory on the US side, so if that, get it in there, we're trying to get a definition on, in transit, so if that qualifies, all that will be duty-free. And under the USMCA, it won't count, so it's a huge opportunity right now, so I think you should be targeting that,
Can I say
using that.
something? In the past, Arturo invited us to a meeting, where Manuel presented. Maybe that's something we can do again. Since what you're mentioning, like maybe you can do that.
We
I
have
know
a
you're
short
really good at
window.
that.
We have a very short window because, I mean, and this is just because my involvement on a national level and discussions, it looks like he's gonna move forward with the tariffs. I mean, it's not, it's just hearsay right now, but when it happens, if it does happen, it's gonna be a balance. We're gonna sit there, seeing a lot of people trying to rush things through. So we're hoping that, we could, like I say, it's a huge opportunity if it does happen, but at the same time, we're concerned about that.
Yeah, and we're actually growing, we're the fastest growing grantee in the country, and hopefully this year we're gonna be the #1 grantee with the number of operators, because right now, all of those that are operating, they're not worried because they already have it, but there are a lot of people who are interested, and actually we have around, I don't know, like 12 or 13 in the pipeline. So that's gonna be, it's gonna take us like four months or something like that to have those new operators.
It's a lot easier to go to FTZ than Type 8 or Type 11 warehouse. So that's why they're moving in this direction, to take consideration where all zoned. So, I'll see if I can schedule something in the next week or two with the association. And maybe we should also, I have certain ties with Alpha, that's another market as well, so maybe we can go ahead and work with them as well.
So on to the terminal renovation rehabilitation project. So as you can see, our up escalator is working. We are by the middle of March, if not sooner, the down escalator will be done. We should have already been done with the down escalator, but tragically the supervisor was critically injured in a car wreck, and they were having to scramble around trying to get another supervisor here, the company that was putting them in. So now they have somebody, and so they are going, and hopefully by the middle of March, the down escalator will be done. As you can see, the roof is almost complete. We're waiting for the inspection by the design firm, and there's a few more little bitty things that they're in the process, but it'll be done hopefully by the end of this month, first part of March. We are working on getting pricing for the internal remodeling, which is going to be increasing the size of our checkpoint and moving the airline offices downstairs. And there will be concession area upstairs. And so we have already sent it to the contractor for pricing, but TSA has changed their mind on what they wanted their space. And then yesterday, day before yesterday, we were told that we have been approved for a second lane. And so now we're scrambling to see if we can fit a second lane into our plans, because we did not, when we were going to enlarge the terminal building, the second lane was included, but because we're not enlarging the building, they took it down back to just the one lane. So, like I said, we're in talks with the engineering firms to see exactly what that's going to do to the plan, if it's, how we're going to be able to fit that in. So we're waiting on all of those little pieces to come together before we know a date as to when we're going to start the renovations. Those renovations are going to make it a lot more cumbersome for a little bit until we get them all up. But we're working with our contractor and our engineering firm to minimize the problems that we're going to have. And hopefully next week, by the end of next week, the restroom situation will all be done. We could have opened the women's restroom up 2 weeks ago, but it would not have been allowing the handicapped people to use those restrooms. So we chose to not open them to the public until everybody can use them. So hopefully within the next week, that's going to be finished for that. Taxiways J1 and J2, there was a holdup on some concrete issues. We've got those done. They have started back to working. J1 should be finished soon, I think.
They're still pouring concrete.
Yeah,
so,
and then once J1 is completed, then we will start J2. We're not allowing them to start the second phase until they're completed with the first phase so that we can open it up for use. And then other than that, that's pretty much what we have for, unless y'all have any other questions. I know, I don't have any more comments.
I just have a question. I just can't remember. Which one is the taxiway that has the operating system for planes to land even though bad weather conditions?
That would be runway
Right.
18 right, 36 left,
You're
The
talking about
ILS.
the ILS.
The ILS. Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
an instrument landing system.
Yeah.
But right now, it's the one operating, or? Okay.
Yeah, that's the only runway that's like the only precision runway we have. And if it's like bad, like, or conditions like this morning or actually been this whole week, then that's the runway that they use.
Okay.
So if that system goes out of service, then, which we don't maintain, the FAA maintains that one, then that's when you start seeing like certain cancellations because like they can't make it in.
My question was going on that direction because we had some cancellation. I noticed, I was not on the flight, but I noticed that there were some cancellations, and I was like, isn't it supposed to be up and running
Well, I mean, but like they still, like it's still a mechanical system. So in that case, I believe the issue was that they had like an electrical short, and so they had to like find where it was at, and then once they repaired it, then it was back in service.
It was only one flight that canceled, I think.
Yeah, it was a bunch of delays, and then I think only like one flight that canceled from American.
Okay.
That's like, I mean, they've since repaired it and stuff, but like any system, like, and there's no redundancy, so if it goes down, then it goes down.
And one of the things in that instance, in that flight, it's the pilot's call. If the pilot doesn't think, that he can go out, he's gonna not go out. So, and that, I know that was the pilot's call.
And I think it was the glide slope portion that was the issue.
Yes.
So like they could see it laterally, but then they couldn't see it like vertically for like that system that they use in the cockpit.
Thank you.
One of the other things that we're doing is we have hired RSNH to do our master plan, which it's a roadmap for the next 5, 10, 20 years on what we want to see on the airport. And this week, they are working on pavement condition reports so that they can get our pavement condition numbers that the FAA requires us to have. And we will be, during that process, we will have several different public comment portions to where public will be able to come to the meetings and talk, and they'll be, telling them what kind of projects that we're going to have on the horizon and different things. We will be working to set up a group that will meet with the engineers, and they'll discuss the different types of projects that we could have going on, our needs, and Mr. Sanchez will be deciding who he wants to have on those panels. So some of y'all might be called. I don't know. He might ask some of y'all to be on the panel. I don't know. That'll be up to him, and that's something that we'll be working on in the next couple of weeks, is to get that. And as far as big projects that we have going on, those are the terminal rehabilitation, the taxiways, and the master plan. Those are our big projects The next big project we have on the horizon will be replacing our EMAS. That's at the end of
1-8 right.
1-8 right. And that's something that our last inspection by the FAA, they strongly suggested that we replace it. And so we are working with the FAA, and over the next 2 years, we will be getting that replaced. We will be bringing probably in the next month or so the contract. Or is that on this one? The RSNH's contract?
It's on this one, I saw it.
No, that's one, that's a different one. So we'll talk about that. But in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, we'll be bringing the RSNH's contract, design contract for that probably. All right, I'm done.
I know that Cash mentioned earlier, we were talking about it, and hopefully we can get the rest of our other 2 members if we can. Maybe get the advertisers here at the next meeting.
Yeah, I'll for sure reach out to ADS to see if when they could be, not when, if they're supposed to be available whenever I tell them to be in their contract. So I'll let them know for the next meeting. We'll invite them so they can do the marketing report themselves. And they'll be able to answer better, answer the questions better and stuff like that.
That's fine. It's totally fine.
And the one thing, take into consideration, and we're at you said 10 months. Each month is kind of the time frame that we're working for. We can kind of utilize that time, the sooner the better. So this is my humble suggestion. So.
A separate note, and I'm just, as far as more flights and trying to procure more airlines and that sort of thing, is there a strategy or a report for that?
Mr. Sanchez would be the one to answer that better. All I can tell you is that for like this week, he is at a conference. I call it speed dating with the airlines, and he was able to get quite a few airlines to talk to set up. We have a consultant, an air service development consulting firm that we're working with, and so they work together, and he gets to talk to different airlines. I know at this conference, Delta accepted our meeting, so he's going to be able to talk to Delta. Whether that provides a possibility of other services or not, I don't know, but he does go to 3 different conferences every year where he can talk. He has a chance to talk to different airlines, and so he does that, plus, like I said, working with an air service development company. So he's really,
He's
putting
our
forth a
focus.
lot of effort in trying to get more service to the air, and it's,
He'll be here for the next
yes,
meeting?
yes, he
Okay.
should be here for the next board meeting.
Well, it depends. So now that we're here in general comments, maybe we can push it to another week, because if I'm not mistaken, it would be the second week. We already have it programmed for the second week of the month. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
The second Wednesday of the month. And if I'm not mistaken, that will be the week he's in Washington. So
I
if
think a lot more of us will be in Washington as well.
okay, so then maybe
Yeah.
it's better we move that meeting
That's the-
of the following week, like the 3rd week. I know, or is anybody else on another committee that would be a conflict? Because I know before we've had members in the past that it would conflict, but if everybody's okay with it, I can push it for the 3rd week of March. Just write that down.
What day would that be? I don't have my
I
phone,
don't
so I don't
have
have my
it.
calendar.
March 19th.
And one thing I know that in previous discussions as well, we have to give a concessions as well, but I know that we're at the table sometimes. Victoria goes to those meetings, and they do cost analysis. Is it cheaper for them to come down or drive to San Antonio? So there's a lot of balance. What we can work with now is the existing airlines, which is United and American, which they've increased their flights based on capacity. But I noticed that at one time we had the migrant shuttle that was filling up all the planes. We don't have that anymore. So we're starting to slow down a little bit. So I don't know if they're going to scale back or not. But the fact is I travel a lot. And I like that flexibility of, I got 4 times or 5 times when I can fly in. So I'm kind of hoping we can kind of target those right now.
Yeah.
And then work on the new ones whenever there's availability. But at the same time, there's a good discussion on that so we can sit there and see where we're going. So.
Yeah.
I think we go on to action items.
Yeah, action items now, please.
Oh, so is March 19th gonna be good for?
Is everybody okay with March 19th?
Yes.
Yes, works for me.
Hopefully, we might have, we can see about getting our new board members, maybe.
Yeah.
Hold on a second, do we have a vice chair or not?
We do, it's Mr. Judge
Hector?
Cortez,
Is that, do we need to vote that in?
Yes, it was voted in,
No, I mean, do we need to vote March 19th in?
No, it's just.
I don't think so.
No, just, okay.
No. No, because it wasn't already
And
scheduled.
on my other committees, we don't do, we
Yeah,
just set a
it
day,
hasn't
we
been-
all, okay, let's do it, you know.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want us to read them, the
Please.
action items? Yes, okay. Action item number 1, I can read them for Virginia. So it's gonna be action item for February 18. Consideration to approve the selection of the sole responsive bidder, Tailwind Hospitality, Inc., Wilmington, North Carolina, for fiscal year 24-117 airport concessions, and the authorization to enter into negotiations into a terminal concessions lease agreement. 24-117 invited qualified experienced food, beverage, and retail operators to respond to a request for qualifications for the right to develop, manage, and operate 3 concessions locations at the Laredo International Airport. Proposals were evaluated and ranked by a selection committee. There is no cost involved in this part of the selection process and negotiations.
So just to brief everyone, Tailwinds was the only one that submitted,
Will they be here on the outside or in the back?
both.
Okay, good.
Is there a reason for that? Nobody wants to come, or they didn't
Well-
advertise right, didn't get the word out? I mean, do we have a feel for this?
I can,
I'm just wondering.
so this was heavily advertised by us. It was posted on the internet. If you are a vendor for the city of Laredo and you want to be notified, you become a vendor through the city eBid. So if you check off that you want to be part of concessions, anybody that's on that list will get notification that there's an RFP open for it. We did that. And so why nobody applied? From my experience, and I think Virginia could say the same since she's had experience in multiple airports, it's really difficult for local people to have businesses in airports because it costs so much money to have a full-time employee here when you don't have full-time flights all day, especially in a smaller airport like this. You know, San Antonio, it's easier, you have flights 24/7. Here, you know, we have our specific timelines, and that was the biggest complaint I think I heard from like Sendero, was because they were new when they first started. It was hard to have it staffed all the time because, mind you, it's not like, we only have flights from like 1 to 5. No, it's like you have flights at 6 a.m. and then we'll have a gap. And that's where they struggle. I don't know why other people didn't apply, but that would be my assumption.
And so we did have a consultant company that we worked with that prepared the proposal and helped us put that out. So,
You know, in the past, and I know we're kind of focused with what happens here with the flights going in and out. I mean, when Viva Laredo was here, I used to come and eat here. As a matter of practice, they
It's
had
actually a
damn
good
good
restaurant,
barbecue.
yeah.
Yeah, but because they were known, because the cook used to be the cook at the Tumble-In, which most people don't even remember. But because of that,
They
it
had really
attracted
good
people from the
breakfast.
outside. People came over here just to eat.
and that was one of the things that I know was in the proposal was that the airport would grant an hour and a half free parking for the restaurant, for the people at the restaurant. I will tell you, it is, I've done this in Tyler, at the airport in Tyler, and it was very hard to get people even interested in it.
Okay, I just,
I do know, I will tell you, I do know that there was a couple of local restaurants that were had interest in it, but they did not participate. They did not provide a proposal. Why? I don't know. I
So,
don't know
my
why
question
they
is this,
didn't.
should we go with something because that's all there is, or should we make an effort to try to attract somebody? I mean, I just hate to drop the ball.
Well, I know
asking.
that Mr. Sanchez has really worked hard on this proposal, and getting people noticing about it. And again, like she said, it really is hard. The one in Tyler only had 3 flights a day. The guy that did the restaurant there, he could not keep people because he didn't have any business. And that was the whole thing. Longview doesn't even have a restaurant at all. They got, in their last remodel, they got rid of the restaurant because they just couldn't keep people in. I think Corpus does well with theirs, but they just built a outdoor bar type area, and it's
We
seen a
don't have
lot,
that.
Yeah.
Did we lose that coffee company downstairs or no?
Yes, they did.
Yes.
Right now, Chick-fil-A has taken over the entire
Yes, no,
space.
yeah.
They are serving coffee now. But yes, so
And Chick-fil-A is on a month-to-month right now because of the new proposal. This Tailwinds is a company that has places in, I think,
over 50.
over 50 airports. So I think they understand more than a local person would understand about the airport business. So hopefully, I feel like it'll be a good fit for us, that they will know, they have more experience in locating in an airport. I know that one of the things upstairs, they're gonna have like a grab and go type thing, so having something beyond the checkpoint area is an issue. Because they have to be badged, they have to follow all the TSA rules and regulations. You can't just put your stuff in there, it all has to be
You can't take your coffee through.
right, it all has to be, all of the merchandise that they sell back there has to be secured, has to be inspected by a TSA agent, so it poses a little bit more.
No, just call all liquids, man. so.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
You can take the
water.
burgers and stuff, but
Yes,
liquids
yes,
you can't. man.
yeah, and they will be, they will work, whatever they will be able to sell, whatever they sell, other than drinks, you should be able to take it back. Just like now, if you buy at Chick-fil-A, you can take anything but the liquids back there, so.
Can you elaborate, I guess, or maybe or I'm not sure, but what specifically they're going to offer within this airport? Does that include?
I got a menu.
Does that include alcohol?
I'm not for sure if they will serve alcohol. I don't know that. I do know that right now we do have, Villa Laredo does serve alcohol in the
Beer
secure
and wine,
area.
I think that's it.
They did ask if they were allowed to, and they did ask if the license for Villa Laredo was for the airport in its entirety, or if it was just for their specific location. They haven't mentioned to us if they're gonna be selling alcohol downstairs, but I know upstairs, like what she said, they do. But I guess they might have had interest because of the question they had when we met with them.
Yeah, and so.
Yeah, that'd be big because with if the TABC license covers just that, or does it cover the entire airport?
No.
Then that'll.
The Villa Laredo has to have their own license.
Well, no, what I mean is, because when you apply for a license with TABC, there's a their coverage area that is granted to you by TABC is either to a certain square footage, or is it the entire property or the entire premise?
Yeah, and
premises?
and that would be dependent upon the Tailwinds on how they applied their license, whether they're gonna do it upstairs. And to be honest, I can't tell you.
Can I see their menu?
Yes, you can see, yeah. I can't tell you if that was in the talks or not. So, but
And just so you know, the upstairs will be more grab and go. Downstairs will continue to be seated.
and that area is all gonna be remodeled into
That
remodeling.
menu is
It's-
for downstairs?
That will be the
It's
menu for the restaurant.
Definitely tailored to the market.
Mhm.
So.
We
with-
provided suggestions, I just wanna say.
So with that being said, looking at the time as well,
sorry.
there's a agenda item, do we have a motion, move forward? I mean, it's no cost, so it's just somebody get there right now, because we're very limited. as
I'll
we
motion.
speak, Motion?
I'll second.
Okay.
Cash motion.
Who seconded it? Cordero? Santos.
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 Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? All right. Move to the second agenda item.
Okay, agenda item, this one's also for the next city council meeting, so authorizing the city manager to execute a lease agreement between the city of Laredo and ADEX Trading for a property located at 2015 Papas, constituting approximately 97,183 square feet of land, including approximately 28,366 square feet of building space, known as Building 1315. Lease term shall be for 5 years, commencing on January 1st, 2025, with 4 options, each equal to 5 years upon mutual agreement of the parties. Monthly rent shall be $6,973 and will be adjusted annually according to the changes in the consumer price index. So, they were already a tenant. They've been here for a while. They've already exceeded the options to renew, and that's why we're doing a new lease.
I have a question on the price. That
Mhm.
is way below the Laredo market.
Thank you for saying that, because I
I think
agree.
the last time something came up,
Yeah.
we discussed this, and they said, well, that those people that are gonna be going in, they're gonna make some improvements, all that other stuff, and we never saw anything come back.
For which building are you talking about, sir?
Huh?
Which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about one we had in the past, and we never saw it come back. But in this one, I think we're, what, 24 cents?
24.
24 cents?
Wow, that's,
Which is
Wait,
way
wait, 24 cents
lower.
for what?
Square feet.
Per square feet of space.
Yeah.
Laredo goes for 80 cents to $1 a square foot.
I don't think,
Yeah.
are you counting the,
Oh, not the land.
The land?
No.
Just the
Talking the square feet or what?
20,366 square feet.
This is
divided.
way below market for Laredo.
The last time they were talking
That
about
is just,
Yeah.
do you want me to bring you the appraisal? Because I got, so the way, just so you all know, the way that we come up with the prices for our properties, I don't make them up. Gilberto doesn't, no one
We're
makes
not-
them up.
we're not-
They come
we're not
from the.
blaming anybody.
No, I know,
What
I'm
we're
just.
saying is that this is square footage in Laredo, and that's not even close to the market value.
What she's
they're going
saying is we have an appraisal done, an outside appraisal is done, that's how we come up with it.
That's way
Who
lower
made
than
that
anything
appraisal?
out there.
He's from
Yeah.
San Antonio. Do you want me to bring you a copy? I can go
Sure,
print it
sure.
out, because if you guys have more experience in questioning appraisals, you can tell me and I can question them. Okay?
Oh, and
yeah, because in actuality, I think the rent should probably be, it's maybe double,
Yeah.
even triple.
Low
Yeah,
end,
at least triple.
50 cents.
Yeah.
Low
Yeah.
end, that's
Low
a
end, yeah.
piece of,
Yeah,
something that needs work,
yeah.
50 cents.
Now, are you familiar with the lease or should we?
yeah, I'm,
Okay, so are they, you said they're doing renovations?
no.
No.
So they're not doing any kind of,
Anything.
anything to the building,
To add value.
retrofitting it, upfitting it, new roof, they're not investing
at
any
this-
money
not
into
at
the
this-
building?
No.
You know, they have to keep up with the building, you know, so if they, you know, wear and tear, they have to keep up with it. If something breaks, but are they at this moment, do we know that they're putting more money into the building? No, we do not,
Okay.
you know.
And the last time, and I don't think it was this one, it came up, and we questioned, well, they're gonna be, fixing some stuff. Okay, well, let's take a look at what they're gonna fix, and what are they committed to? We never saw it come back,
Mm.
and I don't like that.
Mm.
Either we're gonna look at it right,
Yeah.
but
So
I can tell you that square footage in Laredo is 80 cents to $1.
So.
Low
as-
end, 45 to 50
As
cents.
far as y'all, not coming back to you, so in the year I've been here, we probably haven't had 4 meetings. So that might be one of the reasons, I'm not saying it is the reason it didn't come back to you, but that could possibly be the reason it didn't come back to you, because as an airport advisory board, advisory is what, you know, so we advise, you know, we get y'all's, we take your advice and we present it to the city council, you know, and a lot of times, just, I know in the last year that I've been here, there's been several things that we didn't present to the board because we haven't had board meetings. And so we take it to city council. And that could possibly be why y'all saw something and then it didn't get brought back. And that's because maybe we didn't have meetings. I don't know exactly, but,
So
That-
what
that
I would just do this. I would motion that we at least revisit the square footage rate.
We table it.
And we request that city manager increase but see, here's the thing. Then we run the risk of losing revenue.
that's just
Remember,
our
this is an
answer.
advisory board. They're gonna sit there, go back and say management already has it on the table, and they won't even take advice, they just move forward with it.
Okay, so, so I'll just,
That would be the only thing.
so the meeting next Tuesday night is the final reading of the ordinance for
So they have
this.
to move forward on no matter what.
Yeah.
So we table it, they're gonna come back with a decision, and they're gonna sit there and say, hey, this is what we did anyway. So
See,
we won't get any
again, this
information,
is,
yeah.
this is the whole thing about us not being able to have meetings. We can't stop what we're doing because we can't have meetings, and so we can go take it to the city council. And this one has been, this will be the third time. So it's the third reading for it. So, but yes, we do have a company that does appraise them. And
I wonder there's no
Yeah.
way
Yeah,
they could have come up with that figure.
So-
That's way below market, way below.
Do we know how long it was on the market for before that?
Well, it's somebody that's
they've
been
had
there.
this, they've had this building,
Oh.
they've had it.
You know?
Almost more than 20 years ago, because I've been here 23 years ago, and it's been the same company.
Short building, but
So-
Really?
Yeah.
Still
Warehouse.
So just so you know,
8,000
the
square feet.
airport
40-year-old
has a lot of properties.
Yeah.
55
So,
cents.
and we have, we have a firm out of San Antonio
Yeah.
that does the appraisals. And we appraise every 5 years and
5 years.
CPI adjustment every year.
Okay.
So they do go up.
So
And
this-
just so y'all know, that this is the first airport that I have been at that has fair market, that we go to an appraisal and have it done. So just,
Sure.
all
No,
our
and
properties.
that's, I think that's fine. I would just, because they've been long-term tenants, I would just make a motion for a city manager to renegotiate the rate, at least 50.
That would be a better motion, yeah, because I think.
I would just advise the city manager, if he wants to enter into the agreement, that's fine, but I would rather him try to renegotiate the rate at least at 50 cents a square foot.
I would say just review the rate to make it more comparable to current
Yeah.
rates and see what we
Right,
can,
well,
yeah.
so as of, my understanding is that because it's already gone and it's the final reading, Victoria.
Hold on. So,
So-
okay, wait. I'm sorry, I missed the entire conversation.
So what we were basically just getting information on the tenant. I was asking if the tenant had made any significant changes, renovations.
I'll be honest, and I'm always honest. So this property, this tenant has been here for a while.
Right.
This lease has been not in compliance with federal regulation. For some reason, it had not been increased. It's by us doing this appraisal and bringing it up to this value, it will bring us to where the FAA requires us, because it is at fair market value as per an appraisal. And when I say that is because I have to rent at a minimum of fair market, at minimum, I cannot go under, right? So now that it's like supposed to be where it's at, it took a while to get the tenant to agree. Do we need this tenant? Like, will he leave? Like, if we go and renegotiate, am I afraid of him leaving? Probably, maybe. But like, will we be worried forever? Probably not. But like, we can do something if the man leaves. But if your recommendation, are you guys motioning to renegotiate?
That's what I was asking. Can we, because it's on the final reading.
You can. I mean, like, if you want motion to not recommend the lease agreement, and like you write, like if we write it like what's it called?
It's got the comparison.
The Airport Advisory Board motions to renegotiate terms or to renegotiate the value of the lease or to reappraise it or something
No,
like
you
that?
know what, we could sit there and make you in a reference where, current market value is at 50 cents and we're doing it half that price. We would suggest we review, but, so they're
Yeah,
gonna
well,
make their own
since
decision.
it is the second reading, I can still pull it. Like, it does not have to be approved. However,
Well, let's pull it then if that's the case, because
no, I
they're
can't.
way under.
I can't pull it, like, from the city council meeting, but I can still submit it with the recommendation from the advisory board saying that you want it to be renegotiated, and then city council can talk about it.
That's what I would say. I mean, just have city management try to renegotiate the rate for higher, so that way we can increase our revenue for the city and for the building.
Does this go to the general fund or where does it go to?
No. All of our money comes to us.
Okay.
Okay.
So the money, and before that, so what was, before the appraisal, what was the rent? Did it go up or did it go down?
Oh, it went
The-
up.
This
All right.
property, this was way before our time, like this has been for a long time. They have not had a rent increase in 20 years. And they've been at 1,400 since they started. So, them coming up to 6,900 is a huge increase already, which is good that they were gonna do it, right?
They were paying $1,400 a month for 28,000 square feet.
But there's something that makes no sense there. The comparables from the
The lowest one is,
From the
I think,
appraisal.
49 cents.
the average is 50 cents on the comparables. On
49.
the other warehouses that he compared it to. So it's just like doesn't make sense.
In the explanations, does he say why he reduced it? I haven't.
I didn't
No,
read the
I haven't
whole
read that.
appraisal,
I haven't
but,
read
you know.
everything, but.
53.
So I want to explain our revenue situation for Mr. Vasquez. So the city, at this moment in time, no, there's tax dollars do not support the airport. The airport is 100%, we are self-sufficient.
Self-funded? Okay.
So the users pay for the airport.
Okay.
So just so,
What's the annual revenue of the airport? Give off the top of your head.
oh gosh,
What?
the annual revenue
For the rents?
for the
Actually,
airport.
We should be coming with a budget here real soon.
Yes,
right?
we're working on the budget, so.
And they
we're-
give that
we're-
to us, David.
Yeah.
So we'll
Okay.
get to see that.
So it's quite substantial. I can't tell you off the top of my head because I've had so many numbers floating in my head here
That's fine.
lately and I didn't look.
Unfortunately, our ex-budget director is not at this meeting today.
No, that's
So,
fine.
but, yeah, I mean, we have, a
Is there a
substantial.
conflict of interest, related party that the reason why it's so low? Just a question out there. There is?
For the appraisal, not that
I'm
I've
not
been
talking about
disclosing.
appraisal. I'm
No.
talking about the ownership with somebody related to city, okay?
As to why it was at $1,000 a month?
We'll say this, there's not a lot of written information as to why it was not increased. There's nothing in the files, like I can't go back historically.
Can
know
you
how-
share anything?
Off the record, yes.
Can you turn the camera off for a second?
We're going into executive
No.
session, I'm just kidding.
No.
But it is a real estate issue, so
We
it
can
might
talk after
qualify
that.
for it.
Yeah,
We have
yeah.
a problem with this.
Yeah.
Well, like,
So,
let me put this
that's
on,
my-
let's
that's
put
my
this out
motion.
here. Right now, comparable number 1, 49 cents. Number 2, 49 cents. Number 3, 53 cents. Number 4, 60 cents. And number 5, 49 cents. And we're trying for 24 cents. And we're not getting funded very well from the city, and we wonder why we don't have enough money sometimes.
My motion
That's
is
an
to renegotiate the rate at 50 cents, fair market value, or in comparable
I second the
market.
motion.
Yes.
Me too.
Yeah.
I second the motion. I don't
Okay,
have-
so we got a motion to readjust the current agenda item to reflect a current market value on the rates and give this to the council.
Well, comparable,
Compare.
comparable,
Yeah.
not market.
Okay. All in favor to the current adjustment on the motion? All in favor?
Yeah.
Hold on,
I-
wait. Can we say it again? The motion is what exactly?
The motion is to, go ahead, David.
Yeah, to renegotiate the rate at 50 cents per square foot.
Say 49, that was.
Or 49.
49 cents.
Can I please see the appraisal really quick?
That's what they say.
They give it to you.
Yeah, you.
Oh, I was reading on
The
it.
49 based on the comparable.
49 is pretty much what they all
Based
say,
on the
except
comparable-
160.
based on comparable properties.
So, okay. You're recommending that we tell city council to tell us to renegotiate, right? You're not telling us to go renegotiate, right? Because
Well,
it's
that's
already
what
on
they-
the
it's on the-
agenda.
it's on- we're
It's
telling
already
them-
on the agenda.
It's actually, it's authorizing city manager to execute a lease. So it's actually, the motion is
We're
to
going against that.
recommend the city manager,
make a better lease.
renegotiate the lease terms.
Yeah.
So, or whoever is negotiating the lease
So the
terms.
reason, just so you know, the reason we put the city manager is because city manager signs for all of the contracts for the city of Laredo, but in reality, we're the ones that renegotiate. But you can advise, like, you can recommend that we can,
Okay,
that
then
staff
I'll
will
amend my
renegotiate.
motion.
Yeah, that needs to-
Let me amend my motion
Okay.
then. My motion will be to recommend airport staff renegotiate the lease with the current tenant of 49 cents based on the comparable
Presented.
Provided to the
Properties.
committee.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's very fair, that's the lower end too.
Very
If there's
fair.
one as high as 60,
yeah.
another one at 53, and there's 3 or 4 that are 49.
So I can write it like that, well, since the agenda's already been,
It's just
actually,
an advi-
isn't it post today?
Yeah, but it's an advisory, so they don't, as long as, you know, that we reviewed it, we should, made a suggestion, and depending on what they go with it, they go with it, but the fact is, this is being recorded, it's on the agenda.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, just so, I will talk to Mr. Sanchez about this too. But since it's gonna be on it already, maybe we can just table it instead of having to like,
Well, we asked that earlier, but they said because it's already at the agenda, we can't table it, unless you're willing to table it.
what do you mean? At the
Should-
city council meeting, we
Yeah.
can request that city council tables it unless they wanna take action on it. It could go either way. It's just, what I'm trying to say is I wanna wait for Mr. Sanchez to
Well,
make that call, cause he'll
We-
know how to better.
We would like to recommend tabling, but at the same time, if they move forward because of their own decision, and especially if there's a conflict of interest, we wanna make sure that, hey, let's review this first, because if they have that right to say, hey, it's an advisory committee, we're gonna move forward. But if we go out there and make this recommendation, say, suggest tabling, but at the same time, make the recommendation about the value.
Okay.
We're on the record for this.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Okay, so, I'll make sure that it gets renegotiated.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, all in favor?
I
Yes.
For the adjusted motion? Okay.
I think
Yeah.
we already
Yeah.
did that.
Okay, we're good, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, last one.
Next one.
Consideration for approval to award a professional services contract to RSNH Inc., San Antonio, Texas, for an amount not to exceed $175,140 for a professional services contract to provide an on-call general engineering and planning support services for the Laredo International Airport. Funding is available in the airport construction fund.
So the reason why we're wanting to do this is because every year in the past, we've had a contract with them for if a project comes up that we need assistance on, we already have a contract with them. RSNH is our engineering firm that does our engineering, all of our projects, and we do a contract with them on we have an agreement with them, and then each project we do a separate contract. This allows us I know one of the issues that we've been talking to them about is where on the airport would be a good spot for another fuel farm. So as we are going through getting people that want to develop property, things like that, we're able to do an agreement with them, and we can use this contract for those and not have to do 15 different little contracts with them for if we have 15 different projects. I'm trying to think. We used them we needed some striping, there was a striping project I think that we used them for, so they could help us with some striping that we needed to design some striping.
So with this allows us to retain their services.
Yes, for just small miscellaneous projects that we have.
Does it speed up the process?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, it speeds up the process for us.
Motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passed.
Yeah, okay.
So now we're at the updates. Request. Carlos, has a request?
So we had kind of already gone over the updates on IDOS and then the passenger data and the leakage information. There is reports that are created by our consultants, and I know that they have like right now, the ones that Mr. Sanchez is using probably is the most updated ones, but I don't have a copy of them. However, and if you would like, we can bring it back again when Sanchez is here for the next meeting, so he can even update you on what the discussions were with the other airlines and all of that. Or I can go and try to print it out and try to understand, like try to explain to you what it is.
No, I think it would be good to have, now that he's right now in a meeting with the other air companies, to see if there was something good that came out based on that information on what he's doing right now.
Yeah,
So I think-
and just so you know, it's the same thing with these consultants. If you all ever want the air service consultants to come and explain or talk to you all about, you know, how we're doing or what our statistics are in regards to passenger utilization, we can always invite them to a meeting as well.
Okay, and I guess the additional request would be, if we have the entire members to also include the media, so we can have discussion on that one as well.
The media.
Oh, the market.
Marketing.
Oh, yes, I already put that one down.
Okay, good. Anybody have any other requests, anybody?
I think
So-
I made a request the last time about the profit and loss and balance sheet, financial.
The
report.
last one?
I don't see it here on the agenda, but
I think we brought it to one.
Yeah, and then it was
Bring
not
it.
brought back again.
I had brought it, we had brought it, but I can bring it back as well.
Right.
Profit, loss, and,
P&L, yep.
The P&L segment, yeah.
All right,
okay.
motion
Uh,
adjourned?
So
Or anybody
just
comment?
really quickly for the next one, we'll have the leakage report too?
Yes.
The next meeting?
We should,
And the meeting has been adjusted to the third week instead of the second.
yes.
Mhm.
Oh, and just so you all know, most of y'all have already joined the group chat. I will be adding you to it if you wanna join. If you have WhatsApp, we have a group chat now. City Secretaries is allowing us to do it as long as it's not official business.
Okay.
And no campaigning, right?
No campaigning.
And it's just to, you know, I think mainly use it, hey, our meeting is this, are y'all going to make it? So, because we
That
do,
makes it easier and it reminds everybody
Yeah.
of day or two
Very-
before.
yeah.
That's
we
a
really,
big deal for me.
we really try not to inundate y'all with stuff, but
The motion adjourned?
Motion?
Second?
Second.
I'm gonna have to vote real good. All right, meeting adjourned at
and we do have food.
1:17.